But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller, and he shows us how to shut him down. I guess he runs him defended until my daddy's back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs him defended until my daddy's back in town. Bad boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that there's a forming trend starting at the Daytona Oval with Ford? Then, when the road course happened, Toyota, and just recently, Chevys have won. This is probably not the best fact, but we couldn't really find that many facts, so this will have to do for now. But anyways, welcome to the Nasboys podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Mike, with my good friends Christian, aka Savage NASCAR.
What's up?
And Ryan, aka Ryan_W, 3 underscores.
Hey guys.
Now, before we get started with the episode, we have some very sad news to report. Brandon, aka Spud.Shady, will no longer be on this podcast due to scheduling conflicts and just life stuff in general. So we haven't really found a replacement for him, but for tonight at least, returning to the Nasboys podcast, please welcome our old friend Spencer, aka Jimmy_Jam48.
Heyo, everyone.
And welcome back, Spencer. We have missed you a ton. He also made that thumbnail, and he will make many more thumbnails for us, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let us get down to business here. Las Vegas weekend recap, starting out with the truck race. I would say that it was decent racing. There was some pretty good restarts. Drivers drove a little dumb at some point. So what's you guys' thoughts on the truck race?
Christian.
Well, I guess I'll go first. Honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't watch that race. I did see highlights of it, and it seemed like there's a lot more wrecks than I thought there would be. And if I'm correct, Brett Moffitt had a pretty hard crash. Or no, it wasn't Moffitt. It was, what was his name? He raced in Indy cars, Connor Daly. If I'm
Yes,
correct.
it was Connor Daly.
Yeah, he hit the wall pretty hard and caught on fire, but I thought it was an okay race. I didn't like it as much as the Xfinity race, but I'll give that race maybe a 6 out of 10, maybe. And John Hunter Nemechek, glad to see him back in victory lane. So that's my thoughts. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I only watched stages 1 and 2 and ended up falling asleep in the third stage. But from stages 1 and 2, from what I watched, it was I agree with you both that it was okay. It wasn't the best truck race, and I definitely liked the others more. But yeah, I did see Connor Daly's wreck, and that was a hard lick, especially at like the speeds he hit it at. But yeah, I think we all assumed Kyle Busch was going to win once we saw him racing. But congratulations to John Hunter Nemechek for winning. I'm happy to see that he won.
I didn't get to watch any of the races this weekend, but I didn't see many highlights from the truck races, but from what I saw, it seemed like some people were driving extremely idiotic, and I guess congratulations to John Hunter. I don't know what else to say, to be honest.
I mean, the restarts were very good. They were 4 or 5 wide at some points, which that was very exciting to watch. The racing was solid just around the ending, if I'm correct. There was a lot of points in the race where, they'd be racing and then like 2-3 laps later, they would just wreck. And it just was a constant cycle. But overall, I think I'd have to agree with Christian. I'd give it maybe like a 6 out of 10. And then one of the main points from that race was that Kyle Busch spun out intentionally. Here's a clip or a picture of that right now.
The 3/10 that John Hunter was beating him by, I'd say. Yeah, Kyle got a little loose there on the flat.
It stays green now. It goes yellow. Huh. Got away from him on the apron.
He's
now. basically his truck got loose and he almost spun out on track, and he dived it down near the apron and just spun it out intentionally. He caused a caution, and now NASCAR is apparently investigating him for it. So what's your thoughts on the investigation?
Spin Gate Truck Series version. And I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we've seen it many times with, I mean, even back in the day, Dale Earnhardt Jr. did it. We saw the Clint Boyer one. It does have more effects than this one did. But this one was pretty huge. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he got penalized for it. I mean, he intentionally spun.
Yeah, I didn't see this, and I didn't actually know about it until you guys told me a few days ago. And then I looked up about it, and I'm not surprised. Like, not because it was Kyle Busch, but more because we've seen other drivers do it in the past, like Christian said, and it's just one of those moves that unfortunately some drivers would do every now and then, and I kind of hope he gets penalized for it, but I don't really have like the biggest, like, it's not the worst thing that could have happened, but I do agree that NASCAR is investigating it and going in more than just passing it off as a normal spin.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I only saw like the second half of the clip, but I think it was without a doubt intentional, and I believe he should be penalized for it. Not super harsh because it didn't like do anything super major, but definitely penalized for sure.
I mean, yeah, I could see where he would get penalized, but I also see his perspective. He wanted to pit the truck, but he couldn't do it under green. Otherwise, he would lose a ton of positions and possibly a couple laps. So I agree that, you know, intentionally spinning is a very crappy thing to do, but I mean, it also didn't really ruin the outcome of the race because John Hunter, in my opinion, either John Hunter or Kyle Busch would have won either way. So I have mixed opinions on it. Most likely, in my opinion, he'll get penalized.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't that it didn't really have any big consequences, but at the same time, Kyle Busch, you're in the Truck Series. This isn't the Cup
Right.
Series. Why are you spinning intentionally, even though you know you're probably not going to win the race because he wasn't able to pit? You know, he lost some time. But I mean, it's the Truck Series. Like, dude, let someone else win. I'm just joking,
Yeah.
Jim, if you haven't noticed. But yeah.
No, but you have a point though. I'm tired of watching these these cup drivers in the truck race. Like I understand, you know, it gives veteran experience to them, but it's just sad to see these cup guys just beating these truck guys, Xfinity guys, and there are some very talented guys in the Xfinity series. I know that they want to learn, and I'm sure they probably like having the cup guys, but it just makes it so predictable, you know?
Yeah, like he had.
And then sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry, Ryan. I was just going to say the interview, they asked him if he intentionally spun. He said no, and he won't even answer any of the questions.
Yeah, that was a hilarious interview.
Yeah, that was just
It
a
was
signature Kyle Busch interview. He just kept saying no, no, no.
One reason why I don't like him.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, he's not really gaining anything by it other than
Yeah.
you know, maybe practice for the cup race, but
just he's doing his usual thing every season. He just races in the truck race and the
Yep.
Xfinity races, even though he didn't race last week. So here's you guys' thoughts on it. 2 of you said great, 9 of you said good, 2 of you said meh, and none of you said bad. Now let's look at the thoughts. Brandon says, because I wanted to. He says this a lot. Get used to it. And Charlotte.Roval Turtle says, because Nemechek won and Friesen got 4th. Well, good for you. Glad your drivers did well, buddy. And the driver of the day, you guys couldn't really pick one. So now let's move on to the Xfinity race. Similar to the truck race, except a heartbreaker for Daniel Hemrick. What you guys' thoughts on the race?
I'll go. But the Xfinity race, I thought it was better than the truck race. And that moment between Burden and Cindric gave me Kenseth and Logano vibes. I'm glad to see Kellogg Racing win again. They're one of my favorite teams, if y'all know. AJ Allmendinger pulled out the win. And the race was pretty decent. I thought I'll give it maybe a 7 out of 10. It was better than the last couple of Xfinity Las Vegas races. We saw drama. We saw a lot of good racing, 4-wide racing as well. And that's my opinions on the Xfinity race. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I only really got to watch the ending because I had family over during the race. But from what I did see from the ending, like the last 15 laps and from replays I saw around on YouTube, it looked like a pretty good race. I do agree that from what I saw, it looked better than the truck race was. And Colleague's also my favorite team, so I was happy to see them, but not expecting AJ to be the Colleague driver to win at Vegas. But it was definitely one of the good races for Xfinity. I mean, they're all good. They all have great racing. This one was pretty good from what I saw.
Again, I don't have much opinions on it because I didn't watch it, and I don't know why, but I didn't really see any highlights in my Instagram feed, but I think I saw 1 or 2, and from what I saw, it looked like in a okay race, but congratulations to AJ Allmendinger. I like him. I like Colleague. I can't pronounce words, but you know what I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say it was a pretty solid race. I'm a big AJ Allmendinger fan. He's my second favorite driver in the series next to Justin Allgaier. Can I just say really quick before I get into my actual thoughts of the race, how much respect I have for him. Every time he wins, he always celebrates like it's his last, and he always drives hard for every team he races for. And you just love to see that, you know? You don't see that many drivers going out there and just crying because they won one race. And I hope that AJ gets more to come, and he has definitely improved so much as a driver, not just a road course ringer.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure.
Yeah, but the racing was very good. Like I said, similar to the truck race, good racing, good 4-wide racing. We saw some battles, I think, and that moment between Cindric and Burton, unpopular opinion, but Cindric drives too aggressive
Yeah, he does.
at the stupidest times. And I know I'm a Logano fan, and I know that sometimes he does that, but Cindric, I got to point this out. Cindric, first of all, at the Daytona road course, obviously he was bumping on AJ's back bumper, causing AJ to come down. And this race, I don't know where he was battling, but he was battling for position with Harrison Burton. It wasn't even for first. They were just battling, and he just keeps bumping on his back bumper for no reason and just turns him, like what Christian said, similar to Kenseth and Logano. Here's the clip if you haven't.
Right there, Matt Kenseth, he really lost his entire race car and able to 22 to catch him.
Here comes the 22. He's closed the gap all over the back bumper now as they've caught the slower traffic. And around goes the 20, sideways in front of the 22. Kenseth slides. Caution comes out.
You want all that information, and that way it builds up what you need to do to protect the lead.
There he goes.
I didn't think he'd be able to spin him like that.
There was contact. Harrison Burton hangs on. No caution yet. There it is.
There it is.
Seen it, but yeah, I just think that sometimes he drives very stupid. And Cindric has a lot of talent, don't get me wrong. I think that he's going to be a good Cup Series talent in the future, but he just needs to control that aggression a little bit.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, sorry. Like on the last 2 laps or last few laps, I could understand him getting aggressive, but he's been aggressive in for stage wins, not even for stage wins, in the middle of the stage. When it's not for first, not to gain anything. I've seen him not only at this track but in the past just be way too aggressive when it's not needed.
Yeah.
Are we gonna say that he's getting close to Ricky Stenhouse level and regarding wrecking people for no good reason? Or
Oh, Christian, he just does that at plate tracks. He just does that at plate tracks, man. Come on. That's such a dead meme, but I don't really care.
What about, I guess, Cindric? I don't know. I'm just saying Cindric maybe be the Ricky Stenhouse version on the ovals, like the intermediate tracks. But another thing I wanted to point out real quick, 6 Chevrolets finished in the top 10 of the race. We saw Daniel Hemrick come so close in second with the Toyota car, but we saw Noah Gragson move up to the front there. Danny got fifth. Michael Nett had a great run, and Justin Haley and Justin Berry actually had really good finishes as well in the top 10. So Chevy's pretty much dominated that race.
I mean, Justin Haley doesn't surprise me because the kid's got talent. I know that he's not the best Xfinity driver, but he's certainly not the worst. But yeah, I do see your point with the Chevys. And one more thing I want to say before I get into the viewers' thoughts on it. Daniel Hemrick, he has just come so close every time. He's been in all 3 series, and he's been so close, but just always gets screwed out of a win. I feel so bad for him. And mark my words, he will get a win this season. I really hope he does. And I wish him the best of luck. And I will be cheering him on, no doubt. So here's you guys' thoughts. 5 of you said great. 8 of you said good. 4 of you said meh. And 1 of you said bad. And Brandon again said because I wanted to. Brandon, if you're watching this, stop answering with because I wanted to, please.
That's the reason I don't answer, because I have no genuine reason why.
Well, Ryan, you're on the podcast, so you answer it on the video.
Yeah, I know, but...
And again, you guys couldn't think of driver of the day, but you know what? I'm going to say screw it and just make Daniel Hemrick driver of the day because I feel so bad that he keeps getting screwed out of it. Now, for the Cup race, I didn't really get a chance to watch that much because I was hanging out with my family for my grandma's 98th birthday. And I had to, every time I would, sit down and watch it with my dad, we just would have to eat because that's how Italians are. So I heard it was really good, and I did see some good parts of the race. So what's you guys' thoughts on the race?
I saw mainly the second half of the race when I got home from the hockey games that was broadcasting, but it was a really good race. I thought it was better than the last couple Las Vegas races. We saw a lot of great battles. We saw a lot of 3 and 4 ride racing on restarts, a lot of close calls as well, especially the Bowman and Anthony Alfredo pit road near collision. If they hit each other, that would have been one of the worst wrecks in history at that track. And it was I picked to win Keselowski. He was up front almost the whole race, and I was like, man, he might actually win. But no, Kyle Larson, he pretty much dominated the second half of that race. He won stage 2, stage 3, and Larson won that race. Very happy for him and the 5 team. And just his 4th start with the 5 team, they were able to get the win. So congrats to them. And we saw Kyle Busch get 3rd, Denny Hamlin 4th, and Ryan Blaney actually doing good this season, finishing 5th. So what about you, Spencer?
Again, I didn't really watch it because I was hanging out with one of my friends, but and I didn't see any highlights. Probably should have looked at highlights before I came on, but yeah, congratulations to Kyle Larson. I heard it was a decent race, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good race for Vegas. There was some really good racing in there, some better racing that we haven't seen in Cup Series for a while, in my opinion. Every few laps we had people going 4 wide, even 5 wide at some points. And for the whole Alex Bowman and Anthony Alfredo, it was, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, I don't know how he missed that at that speed. That was crazy. And absolutely massive congrats to Kyle Larson for winning with just his 4th start.
Yeah, like I said, I missed the race because family matters, or I didn't really miss it. I did get a chance to watch it a little bit, but it seemed like there was some pretty good racing. Solid Las Vegas racing. Kyle Larson and Hamlin really dominated that race a lot, especially Larson. I was very happy for Larson. I've been kind of a Kyle Larson supporter for a while, and to see him win that was pretty cool to see. I thought he was going to win the past race at Homestead, but instead he did get the win, and he won it fair and square, so good job, Larson.
Yep, Harvick and Kurt Busch butchered my fantasy team.
Oh my god, bro. I had Harvick winning the race. He was my pick, and I don't know what happened to him. He just did not have that good of a race.
Yeah, we like in the
Yeah.
previous races, we saw Kurt Busch running top 10 for most of the races. So I
Yeah.
thought, hey, he won here last year. He ran good this year. I'm gonna pick him, and he didn't even. I don't even know where he finished.
I mean, he was in the
Yeah,
top
he
10
didn't
a
do
little
well.
bit.
But yeah, but overall, he didn't.
And then about the Alex Bowman and Anthony Alfredo thing,
To be a penalty right there. He did get to pit road, but he was split the box. He didn't have all four underneath the box.
He was in 9th place. Here's the ally cam to show us what happened.
He's got a tire down.
Yikes!
Whoa,
Right there.
Mike. That's what I saw. That's
Yeah, I know.
my eye.
Morning, guys. I got a flat. 3.
What a heads-up job. Did a good job of getting that thing to pit road, but
I saw a highlight of that a couple of days ago. That just made my heart stop. Oh my God. Like, I don't know if Alfredo was realizing that he was slowing down, but Alex is just taking his sweet leisurely time trying to get to pit road, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, Alfredo with the product plug.
yes. Anyway, here's your thoughts on the Cup race. 12 of you said great, 5 of you said good, 1 of you said meh, and none of you said bad. And then we're going to start off with LFRD 23 says, great restarts, long green flag runs were decent, and exciting winner. I would have to agree with that. Matt G. Pastor says, amazing racing. Davis Hayes 2006 says, best racing I've seen with this package. I mean, I think I would have to somewhat agree with you. I enjoy the 4-wide racing. Underscore Carlos underscore says, great racing, and you could actually pass, similar to what Davis said. Austin Hawkins 018 says, nice 3 and 4-wide racing at some points. And the driver of the day was mostly unanimous again, except for Matt picking a different driver, Kyle Larson. Matt picked Ryan Preece. I don't know why, but all right.
I picked Ryan Preece.
Yes, he did. Matt, I
Where
know
did
you're
he
probably
finish?
watching this. Why? Why do you ruin this?
I'm trying to see where he finished real quick.
Oh yeah, we have one more thing to talk
He
about.
finished 15.
I mean,
He
that's
finished
good for
15.
him, but driver of the
It's
day.
good for the team.
Yeah, I mean it's good for him, but driver of the day, I don't know. I wouldn't pick him.
Can we talk about how Bubba Wallace hasn't done well the last 2 races? Because I know some people have been talking about that, and it's become a
Yes.
topic. And, like, Michael Jordan's like sweating intensely or something.
I mean,
Because
this is sort of what I expected him to do. He did pretty
exactly
solid.
the same.
He did pretty solid at Daytona. The road course, okay, he's not the best at road courses. You can't be the best at every track. What was that race? Homestead, he just, I don't know. He just didn't have that good of a race. And Las Vegas, like I said, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. All of a sudden, I just saw him 4 laps down. So I didn't know what happened there. If this continues, I don't know how people are saying that he's going to be good, but maybe he can turn it around because it's so early in the season, and obviously everybody can turn it around. I mean, look at Eric Almirola. He didn't do good. Quarantine happened. He turned it around. So we'll see what happens with Wallace, but he just has been very quiet and not really a factor to me.
Yeah, it's kind of what
I'm taking with you on that.
yeah, it's kind of what I expected just for a new team, and I mean they're only 4 races in, so I agree that they have plenty of time to fix any problems they have and to make it back up, and later in the season maybe be a contender. So we just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Like I fully did not expect this team to do very good just because it's a new team, and I'll be honest, in my personal opinion, Bubba Wallace is an okay driver. I don't think he's anything great. So I didn't expect much, but I mean, I may dislike Bubba Wallace, but I hope this team still does good because this is a big name for NASCAR having Michael Jordan. So yeah, I hope they do better for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I hope that they'll do well. And I predicted that they wouldn't do great in their first season because, as we've seen in throughout history of NASCAR, not all like teams that just start do well immediately. It's going to take some time. And how about Michael McDowell? He's still ninth in points.
Bro, Michael McDowell is so much better than what I expected him to be. I think he broke the top 10 streak. I think he finished like what, 17th?
He finished, if I'm correct, he finished 17th or 15th or 19th or something like that this weekend.
17th.
Yeah, I mean, he and Harvick had this top 10 streak going, but that's broken now. So that's unfortunate. But McDowell just is continuing to impress me.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
Now I got one more thing to talk about before we get into the next topic. Natalie Decker was getting upset at the fact that she wasn't mentioned. Natalie Decker was getting upset at the fact that she was not mentioned during the Women's Month thing. Hold on. She says on Twitter, if I can find it. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Dude, she got mad, bro.
She did get mad. Let me just find it. If it doesn't, I might have to make a cut. Probably not though, because we're talking. But here we go.
There's
She
a
says,
lot of people that were like making memes about it.
She says, "Hey, at NASCAR on Fox, my team and I worked our butts off last year to make history. Highest finishing female in the Truck Series and last night and tonight during the races, you acknowledge most of the female drivers for Women History Month, but me. Thank you for your support." Frown face. What you guys' thoughts on Decker doing that?
All I gotta say is boo-hoo.
Yeah, boo-hoo.
Well, for me, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much all I have to say. Boo-hoo. If I say the wrong thing, I'm getting canceled. So you go.
Well, the thing is with me, right? Like, I could see where she's coming from because, like, NASCAR has acknowledged other female drivers. At the same time, like, I could see why people would, like, kind of make memes and, like, say that, like, boo-hoo. Because, like, she hasn't had a good career, to be honest with you. And we've seen what she's done on the track. And a lot of people don't think she deserves to be on the track. And for her, like, you know, it is a good accomplishment to be the highest finishing female in a truck race. But at the same time, you know, like, did you ever hear about Danica's highest Xfinity, like, cup race? Because I don't think anyone hardly remembers that. I do, but not everyone does. So, like, I could see why NASCAR sort of didn't do that, but at the same time, I could kind of get what she's saying. So I'm neutral.
Yeah, and people were comparing her to Hailie Deegan about the situation, but Haley's only on her 5th Truck Series start. So I don't think they can compare because she's had like over like years of experience already.
Yeah. I can get what Natalie's talking about, like what Christian said. Should Fox have mentioned it? When you think about it, probably, because she was like the only female driver they didn't mention, and I watched both races and that same segment. But whining about it is not going to help your case, honestly. It's just going to make you look bad, and it's not going to help your case. Now, don't get me wrong. I want a successful female driver. That's why I choose to root for Hailie Deegan in the Truck Series. And as a matter of fact, I even rooted for Decker in ARCA. And then when she got moved up so fast and I realized how bad she sucked, I just stopped. Decker is not the answer to a female driver. In my honest opinion, Danica is better than her. Danica has had top 10s in the Cup Series. She's led laps. She won the pole for the Daytona 500. What has Decker done? Decker wouldn't have gotten that finish if that wreck hadn't happened in the Truck Series where Jordan Anderson had finished second. She got a lucky break. Yeah. Like I said, it should be mentioned, but it's nothing compared to like what Danica has done and other female drivers like Shauna Robinson, for example.
Yeah, I agree. For the sake of it and what it was, I do think they should have mentioned her. But when you look at most of the other drivers they mentioned and what they've actually done, not only in
Exactly.
Truck Series, like she's far from them still.
Fox, if I'm correct, also missed Jennifer Jo Cobb and Angela Rutch, so she wasn't the only female driver to get screwed over like that. The fans did a good job of honoring the females, but Fox, I agree that they should have included her, but like I said, whining isn't going to help it, especially when you haven't done as much, and they're focused now on Haley Deegan being the next big thing.
Yeah,
And with Natalie Decker, I feel like she, we've seen some stuff she's done online when it comes to handling criticism, and I still feel like she has to improve on that because we know any bad thing you put like comment on her post or whatever, you're going to get blocked.
Yeah.
So like she kind of needs to handle it better, but at the same time, like she does get a lot of hate. Like she got more hate probably than Danica. Like she's I don't know, man. It's just so many memes they've made about her and all that. My voice going away. But yeah, even the iRacing stuff like that she's done, like she's just made so many mistakes on there where just everyone sees her as a bad driver. So yeah, that's my take.
I mean,
yeah, I
she
agree with
doesn't
all
seem.
three
Oh,
of
sorry,
you,
Spencer.
obviously. But still, again, boo-hoo.
I mean, I don't think she doesn't seem like a bad person, and I agree that she probably doesn't deserve hate just because she doesn't drive that well. But it's just whining about it just makes me not want to like her that much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I've
also
met
has
her
been blocked
before.
on
She's a
screen,
pretty
so.
cool person, but she just can't handle the hate.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the first things you got to do when you're a NASCAR driver. You just got to learn how to handle the hate, and that's what every athlete has to do.
Or anyone on social media.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know several people who have been blocked by Decker.
Yes.
Same.
Anyways, now we can get into more stuff. So we got paint scheme review part 4. We got a lot more schemes, so let's get started. Hopefully we can get through this quickly. Quinn House 00 Mountain Lock. I really like this car. It's got this nice silver grayish thing, and it's overall just a nice car. I'm gonna give it a 10.
Yeah, I really like it. I like the mountainy, foresty setting on the side. It really fits with the sponsor. And last year's scheme was brighter, multiple colors. This one's just nice, calm, white and gray and black. And I think it really fits well with the car. I'm also gonna give it a 10.
I'll be honest, when I first saw the scheme, I thought it was in black and white. But it does look nice, it does look clean, and it kind of fits his driving style since I'll be honest, he's not that good. Kind of bland.
Spencer with the burn.
Dang.
Oh man. I think it's fire. I don't think it's a 10, but I'll give it a 9.
Oh,
Mike,
sorry.
you're muted.
I realized that. I tried to unmute myself and it wouldn't do it. Next up, Chase Briscoe's 04 Huffy truck, excuse me. He's going to be driving in the truck race for Bristol, I believe. This truck looks pretty cool, I would say. It's got, gray, and then you got a little bit of blue and red highlights. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.
Yeah, it looks okay. It more reminds me of an iRacing or a e-racing truck because of the colors, the red and the blue and the white. But overall, it's not the worst scheme. I kind of like it, but I don't think it's enough to give a 10 like the other scheme. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah, it's bland, but it's also not too much. I feel like it sits in the middle really good, and yeah, I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10. I like the color scheme and all that, so.
It reminds me of some cars I've seen before, but I just can't quite nail a name at the moment. But it looks pretty cool to me. I like the colors on it. It's not a great scheme, but I'll give it a 7.
And then next up, we have Austin Dillon's Mobility Science from Dow. This car looks pretty cool. It's got this white front end, and then the sides are red and black, which I really like, and then the top with a red 3. I'll go ahead and give this one a 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looks like a pretty average Austin Dillon car, Austin Dillon 3. But I do like the different colors, the white, and how the red's at a sharper angle than what we're used to seeing. So I'm gonna I'll give it another 6.
I really like the sides of it, kind of just, the stripes and all that, and I'm bad at explaining stuff, but yeah, I like it. It's pretty nice. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I think it's pretty cool. I like this one better. I actually like this one better than the other one that he used to drive that was like almost all black. I like this one a lot. I'm going to give this a 9.5.
And then next up is the number 8 JRM Pros. I think that's the sponsor. Let me check. Tire Pros, excuse me. I'm not sure exactly who's going to drive this. It's listed as Josh Berry, but Waveround has it as possible Sam Mayer. This scheme looks pretty solid, I would say. Similar to the Austin Dillon, it's got the red and the black in there, but it's not as much like on the sides. So I'll go ahead and give this one a higher rating than the Austin Dillon car. I'll give it an 8.
I don't know why, but it gives me Christopher Bell vibes, but it looks pretty cool. I'll probably give it a 7.5. I like the colors on it, and with all those logos on it, it makes it look better.
Yeah, I really like. Oh, sorry. You can go.
You go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, I really like this scheme actually. I like it kind of looks like a red and white camo scheme. That's more of what it reminds me of. But it's probably one of my favorites that's ran on the car so far. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, to me it almost looks like they try to design the sides like it was a tire track, which I find really cool. It's a cool way to design a car. But yeah, I like the color scheme and all that. I would probably give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
And then next up we have Cody Roth. Hold on, Cody Rothabard. I got his name right. Truck, the Grant County mulch truck. I think it's an okay truck, I would say. I'm trying to find a picture of it right now, so one of you guys go ahead and review it if you see it.
I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. Is it the one? Does anyone else have it up? Is it the one that's just black with orange on the side?
I don't even know how to spell his name, so I can't find it, to be honest
I'm
with
not
you.
sure. I can't find it.
Yeah, I found it. I'll take a picture.
What number?
Yeah, it's not coming up.
Check the Nasboys chat. It's pretty. I like it. Like when I first saw it, I didn't like it when I first saw it, but seeing it now and seeing it on the track, I think it's pretty good. It's far from my favorite when it comes to truck schemes, but it's also not the worst. It looks slick. The hood is, well, it's honoring someone says in memory of, so I get why that's there, but overall, I'll give it like a 5. I'm tied in between good and bad.
I really like it. Obviously I understand they wanted to put that guy up front, but I'm just gonna ignore that because let's be honest, it kind of ruins the scheme, but I understand. Want to make sure I'm not sounding like an asshole. But
Oh boy.
yeah, but no, it looks nice. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10.
I agree with y'all's points. It's an alright scheme for me. I definitely like the meaning behind it and all that. I'll probably just give it a 6, to be honest with you.
I mean, it looks okay as a tribute truck. It kind of looks like the Hooters truck for a smaller team. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 6 as well. And next up, Jeb Burton, Northern Rockies. Again, trying to find that, but I think I liked it. If I'm thinking it correctly, I think I like that car. So I'll give it a 7, I guess.
Yeah, it reminds me of his Cheddar's car because of the orange, but it looks like it definitely looks like a college car, like a college paint scheme. And I don't think it's that bad. It's not my favorite. I'm saying that a lot today, but it's not really my favorite scheme. So I'll give it a 6.
It looks, as y'all said, it does look a little similar to the Cheddar's car. I don't think it's a bad scheme. I'll probably just give it a 7.
I cannot find it, so I don't know.
Okay, I guess we're just gonna move on then. Joey Gay's Nevada Donor, finally one that I can find the picture to. I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of purple trucks or cars, excuse me, but this one looks really good. It's for donating for, I think, like brain tumors, right? Like brain tumors or brain cancer.
Not too sure.
Because I think his mom had like a
Yeah.
brain tumor or something like that. But this looks really nice. I think this is a good tribute car, so I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 6.
I think this one's pretty cool. I like that we got another purple paint scheme car. We don't really see many of those nowadays, but I'm going to give this an 8.
Yeah, I really like how I like the cause it's for, and I like how it has photos of some of the actual patients on it, and it's a pretty cool tribute car, and I'm agreeing with, actually, Mike, you said 6, right?
Yes.
And Christian said 8. I'm gonna give it a 7.
And then next up is Eric Amarola's Pit Boss car. God dang, I keep saying truck. This looks really good. I like the grayish blue, and definitely a nice scheme for Eric Amarola. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 10 for Eric Amarola.
And I have to agree with you. I like the gray on it. I like the design behind it. And, I'm an Eric Amarola fan, so I'm trying not to be biased. But at the same time, this is a really good scheme. I'm going to give this a 9.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
you're not being biased if you like a car.
True.
Yeah. I love this scheme. I mean, this year he's always had great schemes, starting from the 10th anniversary one, then the Power Bites, but this one's definitely my favorite by far that he's ran. I love the silver, the chromish silver, and the blue. I think that's the grayish silver that Jimmy Johnson should have gone with, because that looks really good. I'm giving this car 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I personally don't like the blue in it. I just feel like it doesn't really fit in with the car that much. But other than that, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10.
And then I finally found some cars that I was missing. Tyler Reddick's cat rental store car. I don't really like this car. It does not really look like Caterpillar to me. It just looks like, McDonald's almost. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 4.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3. That's pretty... I mean, that's a basic scheme. There's nothing that's calling out to me that says, like, oh, look at me, I'm different from the others. That's, in my opinion, as basic as you can get. And I agree, it does not look like a Caterpillar scheme. I'm saying 3. That's not a good scheme.
Yeah,
You know what? I actually I'm going to disagree with y'all. Now, I actually like this car, and I think it's pretty cool that it's like very bright, like red, and it has the white and yellow on it. It kind of reminds me, yes, of McDonald's, but at the same time, Michael Annette, when he used to drive a scheme that's similar to that a couple years ago. And unlike y'all, I'm going to give this a high rating. I'm going to give this a 9.5.
I can see the pilot Flying J reference. I just forgot about that car.
I mean, it's okay of a scheme. I don't know why, but when I first saw it, I just thought of Velveeta cheese. Not sure why, but yeah. I mean, it's okay. I feel like it doesn't really go with the cat color scheme, but yeah, I'd give it probably like a 5 out of 10 to be honest.
Yeah, to me the scheme looks almost identical to his Quartz Hills record scheme, just with different shades of red and yellow.
True, I also can see that. And then
I think
next up,
I don't know what you're talking about.
and then next up is Spencer Boyd's Dano's car or truck. God, this is really good. I don't know what Dano's is exactly, but this truck looks really good with the red base and then the black near the back. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one an 8.
Yeah, this one's really cool. I like it a lot. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of what's it called? Beef jerky. I forgot what brand. It reminds me of that. And it also reminds me Jack Link's, yes. And it also reminds me of Big Red Gum, the chewing gum. It reminds me of that. I think it's pretty lit. I'm going to give this a 9.5 as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of red and black schemes, and this reminds me of Chase Elliott's Adrenaline Shock scheme that we reviewed last week, and I really like it. I like the red, the black, and the way they incorporated the white in with angles to flush with the number, and I'm going to give it the same scoring that I gave Chase's scheme, and that is a 9.
I really like it, but I feel like the guy on the side, I believe I'm looking at the right scheme. I just feel like no one has brought this up, but the guy on the side, I feel like just kind of ruins the whole vibe of this scheme a little bit. So for that, I would give it a 9 out of 10 if the guy wasn't there, but I'm gonna have to bump it down to 8 out of 10.
I can see what you're talking about with the guy, Spencer. Next up is Bubba Wallace McDonald's. I think this was released a couple of weeks ago, but they're actually releasing it today, or unless I'm thinking of a different scheme. But I mean, this scheme looks all right. I mean, I don't see the hype. I mean, it's for McDonald's, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I really like it, but my only problem is I feel like the top of the car, like the roof, it feels like they tried to go for more of a retro vibe, but for the rest of the car, they tried to do a modern vibe, and I just feel like it's a really weird combination. So I really like the car. Otherwise, I just feel like they should have kept the top all white or a different design, not just the yellow lines, because I think they wanted them to look more like fries, but it ends up looking more like spaghetti noodles. But yeah, other than that, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I believe it was leaked a few weeks ago.
I definitely think it would have been.
You're frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll.
Went out.
All right. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. We had to pause the recording because Christian's computer died. So you were saying?
My apologies. What part did I stop on?
Bubba Wallace McDonald's, and you were talking about your
review. Did I say any of it, or did not out any
Not
of it?
really. It froze as soon as you started talking about it.
Man, that's unfortunate. But all right, I'm gonna talk about it. So I like it. It's just like it's weird having like pretty much whole back in the car have no color, and then the rest of it just all red in the front. I definitely get what they're trying to do. I like the retro vibe. I like the brightness of the paint scheme, but I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5 just because the way It would have been better if it was like all red, but the way they designed it with the white, all the back end of it just all white, and then the entire hood be red all the way down. That's why it's 6.5.
Yeah, I'm torn between it because it looks good, but there are some improvements that could have been made, so I'm not too sure where to rate it. I would definitely rate it above a 5, so I'm gonna go with a 7 for this.
And then next up is Santino Ferrucci's Still something. I think it was Still Hill. I think, I don't know. This scheme looks like a really nice throwback, but at the same time, looks like kind of a
Yeah.
throwback to a syrup company, which I really like. So and it really looks nice on the Still House. Excuse me. This looks like a throwback to like a pancake company, Hungry Jack vibes a little bit, and it looks
It does.
really nice on the Supra. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 9.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't too sure if it's a formal throwback or what it is, but it definitely gives me major throwback vibes, and I really like it. It looks like an older car. I don't know if this is on the actual car, but in the photo I'm looking at, there's even like paint chips on the white bit over the car, which I really like, those little details. So I'm also gonna give it a 9.
I have to agree with y'all. I think it's pretty lit. I'm giving it a 9.
I'll be honest, I cannot find the scheme, but by the way you guys are describing it, it seems like it'd be really nice, and so yeah, I assume it's a nice scheme by you
So
guys.
check the Nasboys chat if you want to see it. But while Spencer looks at that, next up is going to be Brandon Jones Toyota. This car looks really, I mean, it's what you expect from Toyota, I guess. Not sure why he's not really getting that much sponsorship in these has to get Toyota, but looks okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty much the launch scheme, I think, when they announced the Supra, just with a few different angle changes. So I'll give it a 5. It's it's just Toyota, so not the best, not the worst, right in the center, 5.
Yeah, I have to agree with y'all. I like red on cars for paint schemes, but isn't my forte. I'll give it a 5.5.
Spencer?
I did not hear the car you said.
Brandon Jones Toyota.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was looking at the right one. I mean, I feel like when Toyota sponsors a car, they usually do a lot better job at designing it, and I just honestly really don't like this. 4 out of 10.
And next up is Ryan Priest Slim Jim. For the gang. I have to make that joke. This is not that good of a scheme, honestly. I mean, it's bland. You know, they got no real design on it. It's basically a copy and paste from last year's, but they just didn't really put that much effort into it. So I'm gonna have to give it a 4.5.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. I mean, it is weird. The main reason why it's weird is because they don't have the logo on like the quarter panel, like on the side. They have it like really low on the car on the side. But I mean, it looks good on the hood. But it's just odd. I don't like it. I agree with Mike. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah, this one reminds me of the Velveeta car. But the front looks really good, the hood and just the front in general. Then you get to the side and it just looks really bland. There's nothing on the like Christian said, on the side or down on the bottom right of the number. It just looks really bland. So I'll give it a 4.
I'm usually a sucker for bland schemes, but there's just some schemes and some sponsors you just can't go bland with, and I feel like Slim Jim is one of those ones. They're such a weird, crazy company especially since they let some random guy run their Instagram account.
Right.
I feel like there would have been more of a design to this one, and also like what Christian said, it's just really weird that there's nothing above the wheel there. Just looks like it should be unsponsored, but it's fully sponsored.
And then next up, we got Natural Light for Ryan Preece as well. This is basically similar to the Slim Jim car. It has like no real design. It's just a bland paint scheme, and basically it's the same thing, but just natural lights, colors. So I'm gonna give this one a 4, not even a 4.5, just a straight up 4.
Yeah. I would give it a 4, but it's got flamingos, so I'm gonna give it a 5.
I like the colors on it. I like how they have the flamingos and all that. But it's okay. It's not a great scheme, but I'll give it a 6.5 at best.
I like this scheme a lot more than the Slim Jims one. I don't know why. I mean, it's not anything super special, but kind of similar to that one. Nothing above the wheel, pretty much, but at least they saved it somewhat with the flamingos. And I mean, I like flamingos. Who doesn't? So, I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10.
And then the next scheme is Todd Gilliland's Frontline Enterprises truck. This truck looks pretty nice. I think it has. Here it is. This truck is pretty nice. It's got a neat little design. It's like a little. I would say a little bit of a camo pattern, like not so much, but it is pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.
I like it as well. I like the design on it. It does kind of stick out, but at the same time, I don't know why. I don't know if I'm looking at the right one, but it looks kind of similar to Eric Almirola's gray one we reviewed earlier. If I'm correct, if I'm looking at the right one, am I? Is this one gray?
Yes, it's gray and red.
So I have the right one. So it kind of looks a little similar to that, but I don't know about this one. I mean, I'm in a mix between a 7 and an 8 on this, so I'm just gonna say 7.5.
Yeah, it's nice. It reminds me of the U.S. Air Force game that Bubba ran because of the colors. And while I like the colors, it just looks pretty bland again. Like, not bland in the way that Ryan Preece's scheme was, but I'm not sure about this one. I'm gonna give it a 6.
It's okay. It's a really nice design. It's just I feel like they should have added some red to the actual scheme itself, because the grays are honestly kind of a little close to each other, sort of, and it just looks a little bland. Just there's not a lot of color going on. I don't know, like a 6 out of 10.
And then next up, we got Ross Chastain's McDonald's. I think this one is a little bit worse than Bubba's because it's just straight up red. I think I'm thinking of the right one, but it's just straight up red with the McDonald's golden arches. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4.
I have to disagree with you on this, Mike. I like it. I like it a lot. It is kind of odd with the M placement. I get that, but at the same time, it's fire. Like, to me, I just think it's really cool. I'm going to give this a 9.
Yeah, I agree with Christian. It looks pretty cool. The M's on the side are weird, but it's for a McDonald's scheme. I like the simplicity, just red with M's. So I'm gonna give it a mix 7.
Yeah, I don't really understand the hate on this one. I honestly really like this. Again, like the M placement is definitely a little weird. I feel like if they took out the M by the front wheel, that would help a lot. But like I said before, I'm a sucker for bland schemes, and this is bland, but it's a good kind of bland just because of mostly the color scheme. And yeah, I really like it. Probably like a 7 out of 10.
The Trimdation car.
And then Also for Ross Chastain, we have his Chevy car, which some people have compared it to a special adult website that I will not mention.
Don't want to get canceled, Mike.
Yes, we don't want to get canceled by YouTube because of how they are. But I think the car looks nice. It brings out Chevy nicely. I like the orange and the gray. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.
I mean, I get where you come from with this. To me, it's an okay one. I'm probably going to give this a 7 or a 6.5.
I really like it. It kind of reminds me of the gear wrench, Kurt Busch's gear wrench car from last year, and also the color scheme reminds me of, well, Mike said it sort of. But yeah, I really like it. The front seems a little weird, just kind of with pretty much just a big black box with text in it. But other than that, it's pretty good. 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this one is okay. I agree. It does look like the gear wrench scheme a little bit, but it's just it's the worst scheme that's been on the 42 this season, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it a 5.
When the paint scheme is sus.
Bruh.
Yes, for sure.
And then next up, we have Carson Hoskovar's Plan B Sales Las Vegas edition. This was very creative by Plan B Sales to put in the casino chips sort of thing. I really like this. It definitely screams Las Vegas while at the same time promoting Plan B. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think it's pretty interesting with all the, how much detail went into this one. There's just so many colors, all the, I don't know, is that flowers? I can't really tell right here, but there's just so much detail in it. We see the checkerboard there and the dice, and it is kind of odd with most of the color being in the back, but at the same time, it's a really good paint scheme. I'm going to give this an 8.
Yeah, I really like this paint scheme. That is pretty cool. I love all the colors. You both pretty much said everything that I like about it. So I'm gonna give it a 9.
I unfortunately can't find it, but considering it's a Plan B scheme, automatic 7 out of 10.
And here's one that I found. I'll send it to the Nasboys chat. The Petty's garage car for Eric Jones. I really like this scheme. It definitely screams Richard Petty. It's got the nice Petty blue on the sides. Not sure why that orange number is always there though. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 8.
It looks pretty cool. It gives me, I don't know why, but it gave me 1970 Plymouth Superbird Petty vibes, except for the orange numbers, of course. But it looks pretty cool to me. I mean, it definitely stick out at nighttime. I'm going to give this an 8.
Yeah, I really like this scheme. I mean, it's not the best, but it's also above average. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it looks clean, it looks fast. I like it. I like the pattern and the shapes that they have the pattern in. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
And then next up, I believe, is Alex Bowman's Ally Best Friends adoption. Because Alex Bowman is really big into, I guess, adoption centers, which I got to respect him for that because, these dogs get trapped in these centers along with Jamie Little. So I don't really like the scheme, though. I'm going to be honest. I really don't like the scheme. For the scheme, I'll give it a 4, I guess.
Wow. I think it's not bad though. To me, I mean, I could see where you come from with the two different colors on the front and the back, but I'm trying to review it by not the meaning behind it. I would say maybe a 6. But because the meaning behind it, and because I'm a Hendrick Mercer's fan, I'm going to give this an 8.5.
I've seen some hate on this car, and again, I don't really understand the hate on it, but I guess I sort of do. But yeah, I honestly really like this car. I do really like the two different colors. They could have done a little better job fading them, in my opinion, but it looks really clean. And I mean, if I remember correct, this is going to be run at Phoenix, and I feel like this is going to look good in the Phoenix sun. Yeah, so it's pretty good. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. It looks really good. I really like the scheme. I think his standard ally scheme is better, but I really do like this scheme, and I think I agree. The orange too might look better under the sun, like actually on the track. So I'm gonna agree and also give it an 8.5.
And then next up, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s Tide car. What is this? It's basically the Kroger scheme with Tide on the quarter panel. For that, I'm just going to give it a 1.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of get your point on that. I mean, to me, I think it's all right. I like the color behind it. Kind of like, I don't know. It reminds me of the Turbo movie with the snail, like how pretty much most of the snail was blue and the rear end was just orange. Zoom, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know that
like
movie. I like that
part.
movie.
I like that part of the scheme, but at the same time, I get what you're saying. I don't know about this one. I'm just going to give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call this a Tide scheme. I mean, it only really says Tide in the, well, I guess it does in the back, but this is mainly a Kroger scheme. I'm giving it a 2 for the same reason as Mike did.
I'm gonna be honest, I actually kind of like this one. I mean, we've seen this come from Tide time and time again. Where only like they sponsor half the car, but um, I don't know it. I just like the color scheme of Tide and the color scheme of Kroger. Not sure why, I just do, but I I'd have to give it a solid like 6 out of 10.
And then next up is Jeremy Clemens Diecast Kings. This is kind of reminds me of the RCR 50th anniversary cars with the gold. It's a pretty solid scheme. Once again, another small town team, but at the same time, it's got this black. I will rate this a 6.5.
I don't like this one, to be honest with you. I don't know why, but it gave me, like, for a second, it gave me Tyler Reddick vibes for when he drove, if I'm correct, he drove the 2019 Xfinity Daytona race. That's what the car sort of looked like when I first saw it. But I don't like this. I know some people may disagree with me on this, but I don't like this at all. I'm going to give this a 3. I just think it's an ugly paint scheme.
I agree. It's definitely not the best. It reminds me a lot of the BetMGM schemes that the 3 and the 8 are running, just with a lot more gold or bronze, whatever you'd say the color is. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, I like the scheme.
Sorry.
It's just diecast Kings gold, sort of gold colored on their, for the companies, just kind of is just a weird gold. So the color scheme is just very weird to me, but still they still designed it really nice and looks cool. So I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10.
And then next up, we have Timmy and Tyler Hill's Camping World truck. Tyler drove this one. To be honest, it reminds me of Martin Truex's car when he drove for MWR when Spingate happened, because obviously the number is 56 and the schemes look somewhat similar. So just for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and rate this one a 9.
I'm gonna give it a 7. And like comparing it to the other Camping World schemes, this is on the higher. Like if there was a list of best, I would say this is probably top 5. So I'll give it a 7.
Did everybody rate it?
No, No, I didn't. I was just trying to find it. I didn't know if
Yeah, I'm
Ryan
having
said
trouble
it yet,
finding
but
it too.
I actually just now found it. I think it's pretty cool. Don't know why it took forever to find it. Thanks, Google, but it looks pretty cool. I like how the yellow stripes are at the bottom of the car, going up or down. And I like, Camper World schemes are pretty cool in my opinion. I think they're really lit. I'm gonna give this an 8.
And then next up, we got Timmy Hill's Diamondback Landscaping. This is kind of a bland car. I don't know why I'm reviewing this, but I will. Looks all right. It's got a couple of dudes on there. You got, I think that's a dog. Yeah, it's got a dog standing up on 2 legs like a human. And then you got a normal construction dude. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 5.
Yeah, this one's okay. I'm also going to give it a 5. It's just okay. That's all I can really say about it. It's pretty bland, just white, black with a little orange stripe.
I can't really find a whole lot on this. I just see one picture, but it's not that good. So going by what you are saying, I'm gonna give this a 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw I saw it earlier looking for other schemes, but now I'm oh wait, never mind, I just found it. Good. Yeah, it's just a really weird scheme. I don't like the I don't really like I just don't know. I don't like the cartoon characters on side of cars or on the cars anywhere in general. I don't know why. I just feel like it really ruins a scheme. But yeah, it's still kind of bland. Color scheme isn't that good to be honest. Nothing about this car is really that good in my opinion, so for that I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10.
Then now let's go back a little bit to some of the older or the lesser numbers than 66. So starting out, 22 Austin Cindric Car Shop. This looks like a breast cancer car, but it's not October yet. It's March. So I don't know why they're doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.
Oh boy. I could kind of see what you're saying here, but at the same time, I just don't know what to say about it. Hopefully you don't get canceled for that, Mike. I don't think it was anything bad, but just saying. But anyways, I think the cars are right. I'll probably just give it a 6.5 at most.
Yeah, that is interesting. Don't know what the pink is for. I mean, obviously assuming it's for the sponsor, but it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty neutral about it because I don't know if it's good or bad. I'll give it a 5.
And then we got Circle B, number 44, also Ross Chastain. This truck looks really nice. I like the throwback font on the 44, and I like the solid blue on the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and rate this one let's rate it a 7. Why not?
First thing I thought of when I saw this, it reminded me of Terry Labonte's car from back in 1984 when he won the championship in the 44 car. I think this is a throwback to that car, and I love this paint scheme. I really do. I'm going to give this the first 10 from me in this video. I'm going to give this a 10.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite truck schemes that we've seen so far, so I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah, I really like the scheme, and I mean it's Circle B, Plan B, whatever, Their schemes are always amazing. I feel like it's a little bland considering it's a Circle B diecast car, but other than that, it's pretty good. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
And I found a scheme that I was going to review, or we were going to review, but I couldn't find the picture. But now I found it. Eric Jones Tide. This one looks a little more like a Tide car. I don't mind this as much. It's a little all over the place, but it's Tide, so that's really to be expected. It's also got Food City, so I'm assuming it's going. Yep, it is going to run for the Bristol Dirt Race. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 7.
I like this one a lot, and I love how they add the Food City on there because they used to the Bristol race. I don't know if it's still called the Food City 500, but it was back then. And I love the Tide cars. I always have, and I could give what you're saying about the colors being all over the place, but at the same time, I think it's lit. I'm going to give this a 9.5.
Yeah, that is how you make a tide scheme. I really like that. I'm gonna give it a 9. That's one of my favorites that we've seen. It's just it fits really well for the tide, and I like the Food City on the back, perfect for the race. It's great scheme, in my opinion.
Who did you say was driving it again? I missed that part.
Eric Jones.
Yep.
Okay, let me just find it real quick. Okay, yeah, again, Tide scheme, they can never sponsor a full car all by themselves for whatever reason. Just iconic for them at this point, but I mean the Food City still they did a good job at it like they typically do. I like how they have the petty blue in there. That looks nice, and one of the better Tide schemes. I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
And then next up, we got Garrett Smithley's Clicks Wipers. This looks really nice. It's got this blue and the black. I'm a sucker for blue and black with a little bit of white in it. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9.
Yeah, I really like this one. The blue looks great. The black, it like fades from blue to black to white almost. And then you have the blue number to match it and the blue and the clicks wipers. So I'll give it an 8. I'm a big fan of the scheme.
Yo, sorry. I thought Spencer was gonna go, but I just now found it. I think it's pretty cool. It gives me kind of like a throwback, sort of like a Rusty Wass. Rusty Wass kind of drove a car once like this, but only like once. But I think it's cool. I don't know what else to say other than what y'all said, but I'll give it a 7.
I didn't prepare for this episode like I should have, so I unfortunately cannot find it. But from what you guys are saying, it seems pretty solid. So yeah.
Sorry about that. I accidentally paused the recording. But next scheme is the Richmar Florist, also from Garrett Smithley. I really like this one. It looks electric to me. I really like it, and I'm going to give it a 10.
Yeah, I like it. I won't go all the way. I still prefer the clicks wipers more than this one. So I'll give it a 7. But I like the turquoise and I agree. Like, I didn't know what you mean by it looked electric, but looking at it now with that in mind, I see what you're seeing. And it's a pretty good scheme, but I still think clicks wipers is just that better. So 7.
If I'm looking at the right one, is it the blue and black one, or is it the pink and black one?
The blue and black.
Oh yeah, the blue and black one definitely is better than the pink and black one. But yeah, I like the electric flow to it, like you mentioned. I like it definitely sticks out in a way. It looks a little bit, I don't know why, but it reminded me of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Or for some reason, I don't know why. But anyways, I'm gonna give this a 7.
Yeah, it's a solid scheme. I can see what you're saying with the electric look. I feel like if I touched it, I would get zapped. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty solid. I give it a 8 out of 10.
We just have a few more here. Next up is Ty Dillon's Mobile 1. I really like the scheme in general. It's got this white with a little bit of gray, black, and red. And then obviously it looks really good on the Supra. The Supra is my favorite Xfinity car, even though I'm not a Joe Gibbs fan. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one an 8.
I can't find it, to be honest with you. So
Same.
I'm just gonna go by what y'all are saying. But I always liked Mobile One paint schemes. And with Ty Dillon, he's with a new team and everything as well. I think it's all right. I'm just gonna say 6.5 or a 7.
Does it have Toyota service centers on the hood?
It does.
Okay, then I found it. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. I've always liked the Mobile One schemes, and this one, I like it. I like the different colors and like the sharp angles on the side. I'm a big fan of sharp angles on these race cars, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm also having trouble finding it, but
Check the chat.
oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of bland. It's okay. Honestly, don't really like it that much, but the 6.5 out of 10.
And then the second to last scheme of the night is Scott Heckert's Motorsports Games. This kind of scheme of the night is Scott Heckert's Motorsports Games. This kind of reminds me of the car that Austin Dillon won the Daytona 500 in, similar to the Daniel Suarez. I forget which one it was. It was one of those Trackhouse cars. I just forgot the sponsor, but I can see the car in my head. But yeah, I really like these cars that resemble the Austin Dillon car because I just like red and black in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 10.
Yeah, the first thing that came in mind when I saw this was the Trackhouse car, and I'm also a big fan of black and red cars, but this one is not my favorite one, but it's still pretty good. So I'll give it a 9.
Actually, I forgot about a couple of Justin Haley cars. First off, the what is that brand called? Oh yeah, Nation's Guard. This one looks a little bit better than the Larson one. So whoever, I think it's Spire, they know how to design a car. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 7. This is definitely better than the Larson one.
Yeah, I can't find it, to be honest with you. I believe it is better than Larson's. What about y'all?
Yeah, I really like it. It's way better than Larson's in my opinion. Because this one is its own scheme, while Larson's is more of a throwback. So this one's pretty nice. I'm gonna give it an 8. I really like it.
Yeah, I really like it too. Definitely better than Larson's. I really wish Larson's was designed like this too because it looks really clean. I like the color scheme and all that, and just the basic design of it. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10.
And also for Justin Haley, we have the Diamond Creek car. This is really nice. It reminds me of Truex's auto owner's car for the 78. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9.
I think it looks really cool. I like the dark blue, and it kind of looks like one of Rusty Wallace's old cars. Looks like Rusty Wallace, maybe 2003 to 2005 cars. I would say, I like how they added in like the crystal or the diamond, in there as well. I'm probably going to give this like an 8.5 at most.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this one actually. It's okay. I like the colors, but just as an overall scheme in general, it's pretty much okay for me. I'm gonna give it a 6.
And then the final scheme of the night is BJ McLeod's Surface Sunscreen Ford Mustang. I really like this. It reminds me of the beach and the ocean, and it makes me really miss summer and going to the beach. I'm going to give this a 10. This is really freaking hot.
Yeah, this one is really nice. I like the bright, almost sky blue or ocean blue. And I think it fits really well with the sponsor, and it looks really good on the car. And I still think that Live Fast Racing has is one of the teams that has some of the best paint schemes this year. So
I have to agree with you on that.
yeah, so I'm gonna give this one a 9.
Yeah, sorry I kind of interrupted you for a second.
One?
But yeah, I have to agree with y'all a lot. I like it. I like it a lot. 8.5.
All right, now we're going to get through this hopefully very quickly because this episode is very long. Top 10 Phoenix moments made by Christian once again. Starting out with number 10, Chase Elliott's championship.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, is about to join his father, Awesome Bill, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ah! Ring that sign, boys! Yes! Awesome! Love you, boys! Love you! We are the champions! Yes! Way to go, champ! Ah! Yes!
The streak is still alive. You had to win the race to win the championship, and Chase Elliott at just 24 years old shows that he was the best. He was the champion in 2020. You see Mr. H, Rick Hendrick there, team owner, congratulating the team. How about this? There's Jimmy Johnson. You remember when he won at Watkins Glen? The win at Watkins Glen where he ran out of gas and Jimmy Johnson pulled up behind him and pushed him back to victory lane so he could celebrate.
All these drivers bumping in that 9 car. That's like giving your buddy a high five out on the racetrack. He can't even believe it.
You want to be the guy that's in that car winning the championship, but you have so much respect for what Chase Elliott just pulled off. What an awesome moment to have a 7-time champion roll up there next to you, tell you congratulations.
All these drivers coming up to Chase Elliott tells you how well liked he is amongst his peers, how respected he is amongst his peers for the way he drives on the racetrack, the way he treats them off the racetrack. He's going to be a popular champion.
The third family to do it. Father-son combo, as you see the emotion reaching Chase now.
Tearing up a little bit there. Just thinking about all the hard work, all the years. Racing them short tracks, the trucks and Xfinity Series, all those laps. Hot, miserable days, disappointments, successes.
Jimmy Johnson, they call it the Polish victory lap. Alan Kowicki did this, where he's driver's side to the fans, waving, and now he comes up to the young driver that just won his first championship.
This could be a handoff right there.
Is that the passing of the torch right there?
Yeah, that could be. Handoff. Chase may run here and go make his run at that 7 titles.
Crew member ready to hand him the championship flag.
Tells me we're going to see a spectacular burnout.
Down here to celebrate with his team. All his guys standing on pit wall.
The pit crew flawless today. It's a team sport. Chase Elliott. He gets congratulations from his crew chief, Alan Gustafson. And now he's gone out and won a championship. There's Dad. Mom Cindy. Pretty big moment right there. When you have Rick Hendrick and his 7-time champion who's just ended up his career, and now his 24-year-old champion who's really just starting out his career. All together in one spot right there. Big hug. Jimmy's family congratulating Chase.
And here's the clip of that. Obviously, he would have gotten a championship. And yeah, I think that it's great that he won the championship, and no one was expecting him. No one was expecting him. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in there because I felt like it was a great moment, not only for him but also for Hendrick, because it was also the last race of Jimmy Johnson's, possibly last race of Johnson's Cup career. And a lot of people didn't expect Chase to win, like you mentioned, and yeah, he took the dub.
Yes, definitely a good send-off for Jimmy, I would say, to see, it's kind of like passing the torch in a way.
Yes.
Number 9, Davey Allison winning 2 straight at
packed house here in Phoenix. Couldn't be a prettier day here. Sunny and mild. Perfect race weather. Richard, give us the command.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
And Greg Pringle waves the green flag.
Davey's putting the afterburner on now. He is really rolling around this racetrack.
White flag for Davey Allison.
That was checkmate right quick.
Allison 1 lap away from his 5th Winston Cup win, the most by any driver this season. Out of turn 4, Davey Allison will win it. Davey Allison has notched his 18th career Winston Cup victory, which ties him on the all-time list with another member of the Alabama gang, Neil Bonnet.
One thing about it, luck plays a big part of this game, and today was our lucky day.
The winner and the point leader here in Phoenix.
Phoenix. I don't really have much to say about this because I tried to research it really quickly and I just couldn't find anything about it.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, just speaking of Jimmy here at number 8, we have his 3rd straight win at Phoenix. This was in
Jimmy Johnson needed to make a statement Sunday at Phoenix International Raceway, and he did just that. Johnson became the first driver to win 3 in a row at PIR after he picked up the victory in Sunday's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Checker O'Reilly Auto Parts 500. Although Carl Edwards finished 4th, Johnson was able to increase his lead in the chase for the Sprint Cup Championship to 141 points with only 1 race left on the schedule.
When he became the first driver to win 3 consecutive races at Phoenix. And yeah, he made history that day, and he also got the points he needed to propel him further enough to win his 3rd championship in a row. So it wasn't only his 3rd Phoenix win in a row, but also championship.
So moving on to the next one that I had on the list, it was Kevin Harvick's 4 straight wins at Phoenix. And Kevin Harvick, a lot of people consider, is the best at that track. And Harvick's been a favorite to win it almost every year. And I feel like if he was in the playoff last year, he would have won. I really do. And he had a really good stretch of wins. I mean, he even won the first, if I'm correct, he won in 2006 and 7 at Phoenix as well. He also won a couple other races, 2014, 2015, and it's pretty impressive streak for Harvick. So that's why I put it at number 7.
And at number 6 is the first truck race in history. This was run by Mike Skinner, and it was called the Skull Bandit 300 with 38,000 fans in attendance for the inaugural race for the NASCAR, what was known as the Craftsman Truck Series, but now is known as the Camping World Truck Series. So I would say that's a great start to a great series. And also, sorry, I keep forgetting because Brandon was listed for some of these. Also for me, Harvick and Edwards' photo finish.
Once they take the green flag, as long as the leader makes it around to the overtime line in the middle of the back straightaway under green, the race will be official.
You just got to watch spinning the tires on those older hot tires.
Here's your Credit One Bank overtime looking for green flag. Harvick, nice restart. 3 wide, Kyle Busch to the bottom. And they're going to make it off turn 2. Harvick the leader. The race will be official at the caution or the checker.
And this is where I've seen Kevin Harvick be so good. You see that launch that he got through 1 and 2. Carl Edwards is going to give him a run for his money. There's 2 tires.
It's going to be hard for him to hold Carl Edwards off.
Austin Dillon dropping way back. Won't be a factor.
If Harvick can hold him off, I tell you, he's Superman. That's all I can say.
Well, he held him off right there through 1 and 2, but can he do it 3 and 4?
3 wide, turn 2. Everybody gets through. Next flag ends the race. There's never been a last lap pass at Phoenix.
Here comes Carl.
He's under him. He's going to move him up the racetrack.
He's got him up the hill. Here he comes.
Wow, look at him slam.
It's going to be.
Whoa.
Too close to call.
I can't call that one.
Did you see them hitting one another?
I think Harvick got it by a fraction of an inch.
I think 1/100th of a second. This is them coming through the tri-oval on the back straightaway. Carl just dives it in there, and he just takes all 4 to the bottom.
Here we go.
Puts that fender in the left rear quarter panel.
Bang. Harvick's going to bang him back. Bang.
Man, they almost wrecked right there. Only one of the closest finishes in history, if I had to guess.
Look at that.
Kevin Harvick has won a lot of races at this place, but never this close. 1/100th of a second, Kevin. Closest finish in series history. How did you hold off Carl Edwards?
Well, I knew he was better through 3 and 4. That was not the car that I wanted to see behind me. I knew I could beat him down there. And I tried to protect the bottom in 3 and 4, and I just missed the bottom with all the rubber buildup on the tires and everything. But all in all, I knew I was going to be on defense down there. I got up too high and wasn't able to stay on the bottom like I wanted to, and then he got into me like he should have. And once I got I knew I needed to get a good run off the corner, and I was going to have to get into his door, and it worked out just barely. But
I believe this happened in 2015 or 2016. I'm not entirely sure of the year, but this was definitely a great finish. I think I remember this finish. They were beating and banging in the final turns, and Harvick just ends up, living up to his nickname, the closer, and just closed it out.
Back show. At number 5, we had Bobby Hamilton's first Cup win. And if y'all don't know, he drove the 43 car that year in 1990, if I'm correct, 1996. He was driving for Richard Petty Motorsports. It was the first time that Richard Petty Motorsports had won a Cup race in 12 years. So going back to 1984, it was a great moment, and it was a great race as well. So I encourage y'all to go watch it.
Yeah, and Mike just did number 4. Here at number 3, we have Jeff Gordon's 76th win.
I mean, just how solid this group has been all year long. If they can hang on in the top 5, this right here.
I'm not trying to start anything here, guys, but that right rear tire on that 24 car looks soft. I guess it isn't but I know one thing, Stewart is closing in a hurry.
He's got a half a lap to go, Mike.
I guess Jeff is just being that cautious, but I thought I saw that right rear tire. Looked like it was a little soft.
Jeff Gordon rounds turn 4. Become the first driver in the history of Phoenix International Raceway to win a Cup race from the pole. Jeff Gordon finally gets his first Phoenix win and ties Dale Earnhardt.
Jeff Gordon, I got a special flag for you at the start-finish line. If you want it, bud, come and get it. Special flag.
Look at the hats if you want an indication of what that flag says.
A pretty good idea of what it would say.
You guys are awesome in there. Way to go.
Chevy congratulates Jeff Gordon, winner of the Subway Fresh Fit 500 Chevy, an American Revolution. As Jeff Gordon salutes the Richard Childress owned number 3 as it was driven by Dale Earnhardt to 6 of his 7 Nextel Cup championships tonight. Gordon ties Earnhardt for career wins in Nextel Cup racing.
And I don't think there's any question. We've known for years that Jeff Gordon's going to rewrite the record book. I mean, he's a young man. He's still got a lot of racing ahead of him, a lot of wins, championships. We always knew he would rewrite the record books.
3 races for NASCAR's Car of Tomorrow. Jeff Gordon's finishes 3rd, 2nd.
Still senior wrecking Jeff Gordon back in 1993, but we're not here to talk about that. Moving on to number 2, we got Clint Boyer versus Jeff Gordon.
On the black flag. He's turning Clint Boyer into the wall, collecting Joey Logano. Caution flag is out. Almirola slides in. Did the leader take the white flag before the caution came out?
Limit to the garage, straight right. Fire's gone, fire's gone. Yeah, the fire's back.
Late lapse retaliation.
Fire if you want to stop right there. There's a fire truck that get to you if you stop right there.
Checking with NASCAR, the caution was out before the white flag. We're not done with this race yet.
No, it's down, now it's down. You're good. Just stay on.
And mayhem in the late laps here at Phoenix. You saw the first incident that cut the tire with Jeff Gordon, put him into the wall. He basically waited on Clint Boyer to come around and took him out.
All this was happening right in front of Brad Keselowski, and he was racing Joey Logano, and I was afraid they were going to get caught up, or Brad was going to get caught up into it. He somehow got through it.
Jeff has been summoned to the NASCAR hauler for a post-race visit.
Well, they said they were going to let him have at it. That's having at it right there. That's a year's worth of frustration.
Oh, conflict. The Cruiser in it. And somewhere in the middle of that is Jeff Gordon.
I'm sure Clint Boyer wants his opportunity at this. Can't really blame him.
That's stupid.
the tempers have boiled over here in Phoenix after late race contact. Now all this going on.
In the 2012 Chase race, and that's definitely one of the most memorable fights in NASCAR history. We talked about it on the show before, so I felt like that deserved the number 2 spot, and it was definitely a crazy moment. You saw Gordon intentionally wrecked Clint after Clint put him in the wall. So yeah, that led to a massive fight, and Clint Boyd ran around the garage area with like he was a chicken with its head cut off. So moving on to number 1.
And in at number 1 is Alan Kowicki's first win in the inaugural race for the Cup Series.
A lap going the opposite direction on the racetrack, but now he's down here in front of us, and they'll be pushing his car into victory lane in just a few moments. Quite a sight. There is Alan going down the backstretch the wrong way on the track.
Bob, I have been involved in the sport of auto racing for about 35 years, and that's the first time that I've ever seen the winner say out on the racetrack and go the wrong way. But he wanted all of those fans, he wanted to wave at them, the thousands up on the hills here at the Phoenix International Raceway and everywhere.
A lot of credit. That victory lap there is something I had thought about for a long time, and I wanted to do something special and never be another first win, and I just wanted to give them something to remember me by.
Alan, we were talking about that. The extra lap while you're talking to Bob Jenkins. Outstanding effort. 85th start for Alan Kowicki. Special K now entering into the Winston next year. The All-Star race, he climbs out to a celebration. 33 years old. Special K has a special day at Phoenix. Gentlemen.
Excuse me. Alan really proved that hard work really pays off. He was a great success story in NASCAR. Rest in peace, man. He would have been definitely one of the greats. But he managed to get his first ever victory in just 2 years of owning his own team after the owner had sold it. So I think that was great, and he definitely made his trademark Polish victory lap where he goes backwards around the track. And that's definitely a great sight to see. So I would say that the Jeff Gordon one should probably be number 1, but Alan should definitely be in the top 2 easy.
Yeah, that's for sure. I had a hard time, putting 1 and 2, but for me, I had to go with Alan, and that race was actually a pretty entertaining one too. If I'm correct, Ricky Rudd led almost most of the race, and he ended up, it was either him or Jeff Bodine blew an engine in the final 50 laps, and Alan Kowicki had a really interesting pit strategy call. He got out ahead and he won by I think half a lap over Bill Elliott, maybe, but I may be wrong on who finished second. So yeah, there's the list.
And now to close the episode out finally, let's get into some Phoenix picks. So let's start off with Xfinity. I'm going to go ahead and say that Justin Allgaier gets the win because I feel like he's very good at Phoenix. He's clutched it out there before, and I really want to see him in victory lane like you had said a couple of weeks ago, Christian. So Hopefully he gets it done.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad pick at all. And I would definitely go for that pick as well, but I'm just going to try something different. I'm going to say Noah Gragson wins this race. We've been looking for him to be in victory lane. It's been a while. And he ran really good at Phoenix last year. I think Noah Gragson's going to win this race, but I don't think it's going to be a very exciting race. That's just my opinion. We could see some, exciting like last year's race when it came down to the final restart. So yeah, there's my pick.
Yeah, I don't want him to win, but I'm gonna pick Austin Cindric again just because of, how good he did this year and how good he did at the beginning of the year, and that he won last year as well. Even though people could say it was just down to the final restarts, I still think that he has a pretty good chance to come out here and win this weekend.
I'm gonna go with who won this race last year of Brandon Jones. I feel like he'll be able to get it done again. Yeah.
And now for the big pick, the Cup race. There's so many options you could pick. You could pick Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick. But I mean, Chase, I feel like he could win And Joey could also win. And Harvick has kind of been declining a little bit at Phoenix. So I'm going to go ahead and do something a little different and pick Denny Hamlin.
It's not that's not a bad pick. I was thinking maybe picking Logano, but at the same time, like I went and looked back, early this year. I'm like, I picked Joey Logano to win if I'm correct at Homestead, and we saw what happened in that race. Y'all picked Logano to win last week. You saw what happened, so I'm not going to go with Logano just because of that reason. But I mean, Harvick's pretty almost like the solid pick, I guess what I'm trying to say, for most people because of how consistent he's been there. But last season is not the case. And like Mike said, he's kind of declined there the past couple of years. Denny Hamlin's a good pick, but for me, I'm actually going to go for Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott's going to win this race.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Chase Elliott because he came from last to first last year for the championship race. So I'm sticking with Chase Elliott.
I'm going to go very bold and go with Kurt Busch. I mean, I'm not sure about his track record at Phoenix, but I mean, he's been doing pretty good this season. I mean, last week was kind of a bummer for him, apparently, that I heard, because I didn't watch the race again, but yeah, I think he'll be able to somehow get it done.
It'd be cool to see him back in victory lane, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And that will conclude this week's episode. Very long episode as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Follow everybody. Go to our fantasy league. Join our Discord server. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
See ya.
See y'all.